First, I want to say thank you, Dallas, for winning a match that you were supposed to win. However, I'm not impressed by how you won. You see, Dallas, one of the reasons why I never really got excited about you play this season is largely been because of your inconsistency. And I'm kind of surprised that you're able to hold on to the top 3 seed in the West. But there wasn't really a real stretch in the season that really convinced me to say, Dallas can really be a dark horse to win it all, to win the MLS Cup championship. Dallas should be that team that we should all be looking for. Dallas, you never stood out to me as that type of team. And your first round game against Minnesota further proved why I never fully believed in you. But yet it's still, like you did in the regular season, you found a way to win when it mattered. Dallas, another interesting thing about you, you're the only Pioneer that remains in the 2022 MLS Cup playoff. Because LA Galaxy was defeated in El Tráfico by LAFC, Dallas, you're the remaining Pioneer. Throughout the history of Dallas, Dallas has been one of those Pioneer teams that's really been disappointing. It's really been upsetting. You have, when it comes to teams that have been the face of MLS, it's been LA Galaxy, it's been San Jose, there's been Seattle, Atlanta. Now we got NYCFC and LAFC getting ready to become the new faces of MLS. But for you to be around as long and to see so many young teams come and surpass you, Dallas, the question is, what have you been doing all these years? But as a matter of fact, Dallas, that doesn't matter. Why? Because MLS is ushering in a new generation of sports fans that are not measuring your value and your worth based on how you performed in the 90s and the 2000s and the tweens. Gen Y and Gen Z sports fans don't really care. We're looking at what you're doing now. And the fact that you, Dallas, you decided that this is the decade where you're going to get it together and you're finally going to take professional soccer serious, Dallas, you are doing it at the right time. Because this is the decade where more people are going to pay attention to MLS. And it's not only Americans. People in Pakistan, they want to know what this MLS thing is all about. People in Saudi Arabia, India, people all over the world want to know what this MLS thing about. Is MLS truly growing? Is professional soccer in America truly legitimate? Because other soccer players around the world, they know Europe is overcrowded. So they need a secondary option. But at the same time, they want to make sure that secondary option is close to the level of European play. So this is one of the reasons why 2020 is the golden era for American soccer. And the fact that you're choosing this decade, Dallas, to finally get it right, you're doing it at the right time. However, Dallas, you need a star. You need a star that will set you apart. A star that will give you the much needed points when you need it in crunch time. A star that can win the game for you in regulation, similar to what LAFC have. LAFC has multiple guys that can win the match for them in regulation and prevent the match from going to extra time and penalty kicks. Because when the game goes to penalty kicks, it's anybody's game. Penalty kicks is exciting for the fans, but for you as a team, you don't want to go to penalty kicks because it becomes neutralized. It's no more about tactics. Luck largely has a play in it. So Dallas, you need a guy that can give you those points when you need it the most during regulation. And that guy has to be Jesus Ferreira. Jesus Ferreira, you're the chosen one. Now, I don't know much about you. I don't know your background. I don't know where you're from. I really don't know much about you. But this game against Austin, this is going to be my first time actually sitting down to see what you're really about. Now, there was a game earlier this season I believe it was the Houston game where Houston was leading and it was 2-1, and then you scored a goal late in the match to force a draw, to force the game to end in a draw, and then you ran straight in front of Houston's crowd holding up your jersey and they're throwing trash and stuff at you. That's the Jesus Ferreira we need to see more often. There's been times where I've seen you play a little bit and you just look too timid. Jesus Ferreira, I know you're young and this may be too much to put on the shoulders of a young guy. But Jesus Ferreira, you gotta have a I don't give a F attitude. Just go out there, do your best, and the team will follow you. Look, the team wants you to be the man. The team wants you to be the man. And here's another thing, Jesus Ferreira. You got a lot of European fanboys that watches U.S. men's national team. Now, we know U.S. men's national team is not really an American team. And that's one of the reasons why I jumped off the U.S. men's bandwagon really quick this summer. Because when I first started watching soccer last year and I started paying more attention to U.S. men's national team earlier this year, I was thinking this is a real American team. Well, come to realize I was watching a lot of the guys on the team. I'm like, I don't know any of these guys. I don't know much of these guys. Most of these guys don't play in MLS. And most of these guys are not talked about on social media or mainstream media. These guys are largely unknown. You wouldn't even know they're American unless you're told that they're American. And then come to find out, most of these guys play in Europe, which is why the team largely caters to a European system, which attracts European fanboys. And for me, I'm not interested in being in alliance with European fanboys. And neither are they interested in being in alliance with MLS spectators, MLS fans, or just people who have a little mustard seed of interest in MLS. So the fact that you're a part of MLS, the European fanboys believe that you don't belong on the U.S. men's national team. Jesus Ferreira, use this moment to cause the European fanboys to shut the hell up. Use this match to say, it doesn't matter what league I'm part of, whether it's MLS, whether it's USL Championship, whether it's USL League One, I am good enough to be on this team. And you European fanboys better get used to seeing my face on this U.S. men's national team, because you're going to see this damn face for a very long time. So, Jesus, we're all going to be watching you. Now, Austin is going to steal the show. Austin, I believe that Austin is the fan favorite for MLS fans. I think a lot of people are rooting for Austin and LAFC. A lot of people want to see Austin LAFC Western Conference final. Another source for motivation, Jesus. Upset Austin. Spoil MLS fans what they want to see. Become the villain, Jesus Ferreira. Because I know it's in you. Because when you tied that match against Houston during the regular season to make the score 2-2, and you started running against their fans, showing off your jersey, and they're throwing trash at you, and you were still talking trash back at them. So I know that dog is in you. Jesus Ferreira, release the pit bull in this match against Austin. Release that dog that you have in you. Because Austin got a guy in Sebastian Driussi, and he's ready for the limelight. Sebastian Driussi is not nervous. Sebastian Driussi is not scared. Sebastian Driussi, he wants to be the man. And he's turning into the man. Jesus Ferreira, how about you spoil Austin's plan? How about you spoil their party? Sebastian Driussi versus Jesus Ferreira. This is something that we all should enjoy. At least for the next 2 seasons. Because, with MLS players, when Europe starts calling, they're out. So if Sebastian Driussi and Jesus Ferreira can at least give us 2 more solid seasons after this playoffs of this rivalry, I think most of us, including myself, will be satisfied. At first, I still don't like the the fact that MLS are just losing a lot of their stars to Europe so fast. But at the same time, I'm realizing what's happening now, and it's a soccer ecosystem. It's a real trade market now. It's no longer MLS just selling and not receiving anything in return. It's a real trade market going on now, and the MLS Farm system through their academy, MLS Next and MLS Next Pro, that's growing. USL Championship, USL League One, League Two, USL, their academy is growing. The next thing MLS has to work on is really soccer at the public school level, the public high school and the college level. That's something that American soccer really has to address. And hopefully with this World Cup 2026, I don't know how much money, if any, will be made from it. Hopefully the World Cup money could come into it, but that's another monologue for another time. Jesus Ferreira, release that Brahma bull. You remember The Rock on WW when it was called WWF? The Rock, his logo was the Brahma bull. Now, I don't know what a Brahma bull is, but I know FC Dallas logo is a bull. So Jesus Ferreira unleashed the Brahma bull on Austin FC in this semifinal round. Release the Brahma bull.